Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here on White Lines F1. My name is Matt. For those of you who don't know me, I'm now going to be running the channel on a permanent basis. You may have seen that I did a Silverstone vlog of the Saturday. If you haven't seen that, go and check that out in the description right now, or after this video either. But today what we're going to be doing here on White Lines F1 is we are halfway through the Formula 1 season. The Hungarian Grand Prix marked the halfway point in the season. There are 9 races left, I think, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going driver by driver and reviewing their season so far. I'm going to try and keep it as short and as simple as possible, but we're going to be reviewing every driver's season so far, starting off with the Mercedes boys, Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. So beginning with Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton, then, who is currently top of the championship with 213 points, and his best race position this season was first, and he's done that 5 times this season. He's done some fantastic qualifying laps this season. For example, at Silverstone, and after qualifying, he was, if you remember at Silverstone, he was shaking because of how good a lap he put in. People could say that mentally, the challenging for a world championship could take it out of Lewis a little bit, could take it from him mentally a little bit, and I think he probably needs this couple of weeks away just to switch off from Formula 1 completely, because I think it could be taking something out of him, the fact that he's challenging for a world championship. But there's no doubt that he deservedly leads the championship at the minute, and hopefully, fingers crossed, he goes on to win the championship. And we also had some incredible performances from this season. For example, in Germany, when he came from 14th to win the race, that was a bit of luck along the way, but again, some fantastic performances this season from Lewis Hamilton, and hopefully he can go on and win it for the Mercedes boys. So next we go on to the next Mercedes driver, Valtteri Bottas, who has been probably the most unluckiest driver on the grid this season. He's currently 4th in the championship with 132 points. His best race position this season has been 2nd, and he's done that 5 times. Probably should have won in Baku. He was unlucky not to win in China, and probably could have won in Germany as well, but he's been doing what he's been asked to do. He's been playing a perfect supporting role to Lewis Hamilton this season, and hopefully he'll keep continuing to do that. And maybe if he gets a few wins, I think Mercedes at the moment should offer him a new contract, but maybe Mercedes will offer him a new contract, maybe if he gets a few wins in the second half of the season. But he always bounces back. He may have a bad race, but he always bounces back and definitely deserves a new contract at Mercedes. Okay, now on to the Ferrari boys. We've got Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen. I'm just going to do the teams together in one clip rather than separate ones, because it will be here forever. But we go on to the Ferrari drivers, Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen. First of all, Sebastian Vettel, who is 2nd in the championship. This season he has scored 189 points. His best finish has been 1st. He's done that 4 times this season. He's been showing signs he has the potential to win this World Championship. He can still win this World Championship. But he's been showing potential, but he's made too many mistakes too often this season. We've got the restart in Azerbaijan, we've got France when he went into the back of Valtteri Bottas, and then obviously that big mistake that he made in Germany, which ultimately put him out of the race. He's made mistakes, and that could cost him the championship this season. He's now 24 points behind Hamilton. He still can win the championship. Whether he will or not, who knows, but he can't make any mistakes in the second half of the season if he wants to challenge. We then move on to Kimi Raikkonen, whose championship position is 3rd at the minute, with 146 points, and his best finish so far this season is 2nd, which he has done twice in this campaign. He probably should deserve another year at Ferrari, again supporting Vettel, playing that supporting role as 2nd driver. He's doing a similar job to Bottas at Mercedes, again, like I say, with supporting Vettel. He probably should improve his qualifying results. They haven't been as good as they could be this season, but obviously when you're against Sebastian Vettel, it's going to be very tough against him. But how long is it going to be before we see him win another race in Formula 1 or even a World Championship? Who knows? Okay, next we move into Daniel Ricciardo, the 2 Red Bull drivers, Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen. Ricciardo, first of all, is a driver that I quite like a lot. He's currently 5th in the championship with 118 points, and the best finish for him has been 1st this season. He's achieved that twice, both obviously in China and Monaco. The 2 wins for him. Obviously the engines at Red Bull have been a bit of a distraction this season, haven't helped him. He's now moving to Renault, which is a big gamble from his perspective and a neutral's perspective, moving over to Renault. Hopefully that gamble pays off for him and he can do well at Renault. Qualifying's been a problem for him this year, though. He's currently losing 9-3 to Max Verstappen in qualifying, so maybe he needs to improve that over next season. He's taking a big risk moving to Renault. Will it pay off? Who knows? Moving on to his teammate Max Verstappen, who is 6th in the championship with 105 points. His best finish is 1st, which he's done just the once this season in Austria. Austria was his only win so far this season. As I say, 9-3 up against Ricciardo in qualifying. But who knows who is going to be his teammate next year? It's going to be an interesting one to see who he comes up against next year. Will he leave? Will he stay at Red Bull? Who knows? But obviously, again, the engines are a problem, and they're moving to Honda next year, so we never know what could happen there with Max Verstappen. Okay, next we move on to the two Renault boys, Nico Hülkenberg and Carlos Sainz. First of all, we have Hülkenberg, who is 7th in the championship at the minute with 52 points. His best race this season is 5th. He's only done that once. Hasn't really done much wrong this season, Hülkenberg, apart from that big error that he made back in Baku in Azerbaijan. He's under pressure from Sainz than he probably ever has been before in Formula 1 with another teammate. But he's admitted that he's not going to join a big team, which is a shame because it would have been interesting to see what Hülkenberg could have done at a big team. Moving on to Carlos Sainz, 11th in the championship, 30th, with 30 points. His best finish, like Hülkenberg, has been 5th this season. He's currently losing 7-5 on qualifying as well. Nobody really knows where Sainz is going to go next season. Probably one whose future is a bit of a distraction at the moment, which he probably needs to think about over this summer break. You can't really fault Carlos Sainz for anything that he's done. You can't really praise him for anything that he's done this year. He's just been one of those, just sort of being consistent, really. Okay, so next we move on to the Haas boys, Romain Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen, starting with Kevin Magnussen, who's 8th in the championship with 45 points. His best finish has been 5th, which he's done twice this season. Been very impressive, hasn't he, Kevin Magnussen, this season? He's had a good season. He's consistently getting results out of that Haas F1 car. And yeah, he's been a pretty solid season for Kevin Magnussen. Hasn't really done anything wrong. He's a very driven man. I think he'll stay at Haas probably for next season and then probably move somewhere else. Who knows? Then we move on to Romain Grosjean, his teammate, who was 14th in the championship with only 21 points. His best position was 4th. He's done that just once this season, but you never know with Grosjean how things are going to go. He's stopped moaning and whinging quite a lot, which he used to do in the past. But it's not been a good season, has it, for him? Too many DNFs and too many crashes for Romain Grosjean, which is something that he needs to think about. Sometimes you'll see brilliance from him. Sometimes you'll wonder why on earth he's in the sport still. But yeah, Romain Grosjean will be disappointed with this season, the amount of DNFs and the amount of crashes that he's had. Okay, next we have Esteban Ocon, who is currently 12th in the championship with 29 points. His best position is 6th, which he's achieved twice. He's had 3 DNFs though this season. 3 DNFs this season, which he won't be impressed by at all. But he's out qualifying Sergio Perez 9-3 at the minute, which is pretty unbelievable. He's a highly rated driver, and it'd be great to see him at one of the top teams at some point. Then we have his teammate Sergio Perez, who's currently 10th in the championship with 29 points. His best race position was 3rd. He's an experienced driver at Force India, and he's made for Force India. Force India are made for him pretty much. They sort of work perfectly together. But they've got to sort out their financial problems, Force India, if they actually want to go, if they want to get better. But I think Stroll's come in, hasn't he, at the minute in Force India and got a stake or bought the team. I haven't really read what's happened, but I know something's happened with Stroll in Force India. Okay, next we move on to the McLaren boys, Fernando Alonso and Stoffel Van Dorn. First of all, Alonso, who's 9th with 44 points. His best finish this season is 5th. He's beating Stoffel Van Dorn 12-0 in qualifying, which completely shows that he's getting what's more than capable out of the car is Fernando Alonso this season. And honestly, I don't know why he's at McLaren. He could be at such a much better team than McLaren with much better results than what he's getting at the moment. And hopefully Alonso goes somewhere else, because we all know what the situation is at McLaren. They're a team in decline. Then Stoffel Van Dorn, who is 16th in the championship with 8 points. His best race position has been 8th. Again, like I say, losing 12-0. He needs to sort out his qualifying results at the minute. It was a fantastic GP2 title win from last time out. So, yeah, not last time out, the season before. But he's not getting enough out of the car. at the minute, and that shows in his qualifying results. Okay, just 6 drivers left to cover. We've got the Toro Rosso boys, the Sauber boys, and the Williams boys. First of all, we go to the Toro Rosso boys in Pierre Gasly and Brendan Hartley. First of all, the Frenchman is 13th, Pierre Gasly, with 26 points. His best finish is 4th, 7.3 up on qualifying. He's been fantastic in Bahrain and Hungary, particularly this season. 2 solid drives from him, but we can't. Well, with both of them, with Gasly and Hartley, they're struggling to find a benchmark, a place to aim, because they're not really up against anyone that's experienced. Whereas Stoffel Van Dorn at McLaren's got Alonso to compete with, but they're sort of on the same level, maybe one just slightly better than the other. They haven't got anyone with experience like Raikkonen and Vettel. Vettel's more experienced than Raikkonen, blah blah blah. So hopefully, they probably just need more of an experienced teammate really to be able to compete against each other. Brendan Hartley, he's from New Zealand, I think. He's 19th in the championship with only 2 points. His best finish has been 10th. And he's been unfortunate, obviously, with that crash at Silverstone as well in practice. I was there to see that. He's had a couple of big crashes, and obviously he didn't race in Hungary. But there's definitely potential there, but there just needs to be a bit more consistency. Okay, now we move on to the penultimate team, the Sauber boys, in Charles Leclerc and Marcus Ericsson. Charles Leclerc is 15th for the championship with just 13 points this season. His best finish this season has been 6th. He's beaten his teammate 9-3, but you've just got to love Charles Leclerc, haven't you? He came with a big reputation like Stoffel Van Dorn. He won Formula 2 as a rookie driver, and he won GP3 the season before they got promoted to Formula 2. Won that, and then now he's in Formula 1, and he's been put under a lot of pressure in Formula 1. But I think he's definitely one for the future to look out for, is Charles Leclerc. Then we move on to Marcus Ericsson, who is 17th with 5 points. His best finish has been 9th, losing 9-3, so he's got to sort out his qualifying. He's an experienced Formula 1 driver. He's been in Formula 1 for quite a long time now, but he's got to be doing better than he is, and he's got to be in a better team than Sauber if he wants to succeed in the sport. Okay, now moving to 2 Williams drivers, finally, in Lance Stroll and Sergei Sorokin, 2 drivers that haven't really been able to show what they can do with the poor car that they have in the Williams garage. Stroll is 18th in the championship with 4 points. His best position this season has been 8th, which he's done once. But you feel sorry. Yeah, you've got to feel sorry for both of them because they've had a lot of crashes, gone off track, whatever. Because they're in a very poor Williams car. Let's face it. Lance Stroll is probably a better qualifier, and he would probably do better elsewhere. Sergei Sorokin, who is the only driver who hasn't scored a point this season, in 20th position. His best finish has been 13th. He is out qualifying his teammate, but he's not out racing him at the minute. He's the only driver without a point, and it's been a very bad season for Sergei Sorokin. But you can't really give an assessment of either drivers because they're in a terrible car, and Williams do need to sort their car out as soon as possible and get back to the top where they used to be. Right, so that is the end of the video. Hope you have enjoyed this first sort of sit-down video with myself. I'll be running the channel permanently for at least to the end of the season. Whether someone takes over or not, we don't know, but I hope that I can continue for as long as possible. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe to our partners' channels. We've got myself, Cobbler's Vlogs. I'm 25 subscribers away from 1,000, so if you can subscribe to me, that'd be really grateful. I'll put a link in the description or put myself on screen at the end in like the top corners or bottom corners. But yeah, we've also got Cod's Vlogs as well. He's, I think, just over 120 away from 2,000 subscribers, so he'd be really grateful if you could go and subscribe to him as well. And also White Lines Football and White Lines Cricket as well, the other White Lines channels. I'll leave all the channel links in the description below. Thank you for watching for today's video. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it and if you're excited for the rest of the F1 season. Comment down below any of your thoughts on Formula 1. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye bye.